Hello everyone, and in this video we are going to learn how we can create these falling elements which you could actually hold and drag however you want, like this. And you could see have some physics based stuff, and this is like a better version. Like this one I just added like random stuff, but this one is like better version, you could see. And something I want you guys to know that we actually use like Matter.js, and this is actually a lot tougher than I thought to create. So I was not able to completely understand the code itself. I simply went into like getting started like this, copied this stuffs, and it's way too tough to understand for my brain. And also I don't require this much like quite often in my let's say like web projects, which is why I didn't decide to like learn the whole library. So I would not be able to explain to you everything, because again this is what I also did, that I actually went into ChatGPT to find, because there is not enough like information on how to make it work. Even with like documentation I couldn't understand it. So ChatGPT was like easier for me to just be like, why is my Matter.js not working with this code or something like this. I would just type and do it. But I think if you just want to do like have this effect, which is like pretty common, I'll show you how to do this. And few more stuff I want you guys to know, that let's say if I make this small like this, you could say it starts freaking out like this. So if I slowly started making small, you could see some of them just disappeared, and I was not able to make sure it works with resize. So what you need to do is you need to refresh, and then it would work perfectly. So you could see it works nicely without any issues as long as you refresh. But if you do not refresh and just want to do stuff like this, then it might not work perfectly. And another thing is, if I let's say I took this, so because I like resized it, it's buggy. You can see it's getting buggier. So if I just refresh, it would work. This one, if I just do spamming like this, you could see they just disappear outside. And that's simply because you can actually do some stuff to make sure it does not happen, but it would increase the processing power. So it's usually not like easy to like take this out. You could see I need to do some like movements to make it out. But if I just do stuff like this, it would not go out. You could see no matter how much hard I try, I need to do it like very fast so that it is not able to compute the effect. Okay, so for just like this effect, it's like pretty good. And if someone is actually trying to like take this outside, it's good, because your website is getting like a longer like a view duration, I guess, because someone is trying to take everything out. So first thing first, I'll just create a container like this, and inside of this I'll add, I guess, black color so that it's easier to watch. I'll just make it like big. Okay, inside of this I'll add another container, and this would be this container like this, which would have all our elements. And obviously you could make it smaller and bigger, it does not have to be this big. I'll make it some like random size. Let's make it in center. And this one I'm going to give a CSS class of Matter. So this one, which is Matter box, like this. And inside of this one I'll add my elements, and there are 3 elements that I have added in this code. You actually can do a lot more stuff. So if you go into the site, you could see the amount of stuff that you could do with just their stuff. But again, it's hard to understand. But if you want to learn more, you could like check some more tutorials, but I haven't found like something that explains it well. So with my code, you would be able to add like 3 different elements, which is like this rectangle, which you could simply just, you know, place it somewhere like this, even if it's straight. Kind of hard to like navigate. You could say it was like standing straight. Then you would be able to add this pill shape like this, and circle shape. And obviously you could add any different type of shape that you want. It would just have like this collision, so like rectangle collision, circular collision, and pill side collision, so that if you place it like this, it would do this animation. So inside of this we will add our element. So you could add anything that you want. If you want to add images, if you want to add like the whole container or stuff, you could add anything. For this one I'll just add a text and I'll call this as DMmotionarts. I'll make it white in color. You could style it however you want. And we have to, so I'll also add like a color so that it's like easier to watch or look. So let's do some slide gray. I'll do like stuff like this. So middle one, it does not matter actually, but for temporary designing purpose you could do that. I'll do 20 padding, and then I'll do a border of I guess 1 pixel with white border like this. So right now we are making something that is rectangle. We have to make sure it has been given position absolute, and then you could place it however you want. You could place it percentage wise or stuff. I'll also add a border to this one so that we can see it like this. And let's do stuff like this. You could do percentage, but pixel also works. Also, if you want to do more nicer way, you would have to do something like, you could use clamp or use like wave width so that it like works better, because right now this is pixel, right? So if you try to resize, the size stays the same. But if you know how to work on responsive with clamp and stuff, or just using like wave width so that it gets smaller as you like make the screen smaller, so that you could also do. But for this one I'm just going to use pixel, and below this one in this container, or actually let's do inside this one, it does not matter as long as this HTML widget is below all our elements. Okay, I'm going to copy this and paste. After we add our code, I have some stuff around here, so let me just add it in another notepad to show you guys. Okay, so this is what we have. If you use DMMatterLM as CSS class, it would be a rectangle. If you have a circle, it would have circle collision, and if you use pill, it would be a pill collision. So I'm just going to call it as DMMatterLM because we have a rectangle, and then I'm going to go in here and add it in our CSS class. Let's try to do preview and see what happens. And it fell outside. Or maybe we should try doing publish and see. So you see it worked. It didn't work when I did preview, but if I did update, it did work. So you can see it does stuff like this, but again there is some issue like this, and I'll show you how you can like reduce the bounce if you don't want to do stuff like this. But one more thing that is important is if I try to like take this out, okay, it's not doing right now, but because the element, you could see my scroll bar just went like way too big, and that is because the element is still falling, and that's making our web page like bigger. So what we are going to do is we are going to select this container, then we are going to make sure that the overflow is hidden, which would make that any element outside this container would just get hidden. So if I drag this, you could see right now it does not do anything, and if I just make, even if it falls outside, it would not like mess stuff around here. Next I'm going to do is do duplicate and make it be more on the right side like this. And this one I'm going to give a CSS class of DMElementor pill like this, pill, and I'm going to make sure it looks like a pill. So let's do 50 in our border radius, and you could see exactly what happens. So if I try to do, it's way too strong right now, so we will reduce the strength a bit. So if I try to do, it would actually get like straight like this, but if I try to keep this as at the bottom, oops, there's too much bounciness that I've added. We will reduce it, okay? And that is how we added a pill. You could actually add like multiple elements with the same CSS class, so there's no issue if you keep adding more. And the third one we are going to add is an image. So let's just add an image. I'll just add my own photo, why not? Make it like smallest size. I'm going to give it a pixel and pixel class like this, so that I can add some specific size. So 100, make sure it is contained like this. And then I'm also going to make sure it's like stuff like this. Maybe 100. Let's do cover instead of contain. Maybe that's too small. Let's do 150 by 150. Okay, that looks good to me. And I'm going to just go into border radius and make it like 50. Or rather than that, let's just do it for, because if you do it around here, you could see that the pink border is actually being not being like circle. So the way we can actually do that is, if you do it from here, it only does to the image, but I will also do here, and I'll also go into advanced and then do it around here. Okay, so it still looks the same, so it's okay. And also one more thing, you could see once you add your element with the CSS class, you are not able to click around here. So you need to use the navigator, which you could like open from here and then click it. Just try with if this works or not by giving it a DMMatter circle CSS class. So right now we also need to give it position absolute, else it would not work. And I'll do from the right side and then do something like bottom, and let's see if it works or not. And you see it does work. It also like rotates and stuff. We can actually play around with it, and again you could style it however you want. It does not have to look like this. So you could see this one, you could actually download this as a template. So if you go to my website and then go into the products Elementor templates, you would be able to download it. There are a lot more templates. And if you go to my blogs, you would actually be able to find more stuff which you could do with Elementor. Some of them have templates, some of them does not require, but they have the effect or features. So just check it out once. I also have a Facebook page where you could go and ask some questions. Now that we have done all this, we can simply just duplicate and keep adding stuff. Also make sure you go into responsive mode and then make sure you do all of this stuff. Okay, so like make sure I'll do pixel based. Make sure you like keep it like non-overlapping. Even if it does like overlap, you can actually make sure it like does not like move outside because of the collision. Sometimes it would work even if you overlap, but sometimes it might just have enough push to just make the element go berserk, I guess. Now one more thing that you might see is that right now you could see this actually started falling, but this one is not falling until it is in my viewport. Now if you don't want this effect, then what you simply need to do is check this code, and here you would see from flag to check at the end. Just delete everything till here like this. Oops, okay. From that flag to everything till end, and add this code which is runner run. Like if I go edit and then find, and I could search for runner. So here you could see variable runner, and then add this code in here like this, and then just replace the code. And what this would do is, even if it's not in the viewport, it would still run the code. So let's see if it actually works. So I'll just add like a big stuff like this, update it, and you could see everything is already on the floor even before I actually reach that point. So based on how you want this to work, it would be different. Okay, so you could see I was able to fix this issue, and I didn't even realize that this was actually an issue in the main code. You could see, and it's very easy to fix. So what I've simply done is, you know, the whatever width I have used around here, I just simply went into custom and added pixel and then added 150. Okay, so probably if I add my border, which is like 50 or something that I added previously even to my image like this, it would still work. All I simply needed to do was change this to 150 with whatever size I've used around here. And you could see now it does not cause any issue. And you could add any amount of elements. So how about we learn how we can make the bounciness different. So what I'm simply going to do is go into edit and click find new, and I'm going to search for restitution like this. So let's see. So right now if you check around here, which is restitution for like function to create rectangles. Okay, so for DM matter elements, so for the rectangle elements I have given it 0.5 restitution. So if I make this to 0.1, it would make it like lot less bouncier. So let's go into next one, so which is DM element circle, and then make this to 0.1. Go to the next one and make this 0.1 for the pill shape, and you could see this is left circle, right circle, and also for pill shape I have used like three different elements and made it into one. I'll explain to you, but just make it 0.1 for like pill shape like this. Let's do 0.1 around here. Pill body 0.1. So you could see for pill there are like multiple stuff, and that's all in here. Then let's do copy and let's paste it in here like this. I'll do update. And you could see right now there is like lot less bounciness. It looks a lot more cleaner now rather than the like crazy amount of bounciness that I had previously. Now one more thing I want you guys to show you is I'll go into my headings and then I'll just hide my background like this, and maybe for the image I'll just make the opacity lower so we can see it. I'm just going to go again in here and then I'm going to show you something how it works, like some basic stuff that I know. I'm going to type opacity. Let's do find next. You could see it is given opacity 0. Let's do this one. Let's do 1. Let's do 1. Oops, what did I change? Okay, so opacity 1. Opacity 1. Let's do opacity 1 to everywhere. Make sure you do not like change something else randomly. Okay, so everything I've done right now, let's copy and then paste it, and then let's do update and see what we see in the front page. And you could see we kind of see what is getting created. So what this basically does is it creates like a matter body which are like this colored shape. You could see this is exactly what it is creating, and then we are basically just taking this element and then attaching this element to it, which is why it works like this. So when I give opacity 0, we are actually making the background or the main element to be what you call like not visible, and then basically attaching our elements to the main body which are actually controlling behind it, which is why we have also given it like pointer events none, so that our elements are not clickable and we are actually clicking the images or the elements which are behind it. So our clicks are not being visible on or not being clickable on our element, but it is actually being clickable on the matter bodies like this. And also if you want to create like a second one like this below your first one, just copy this one, go into ChatGPT and say that make something like this. I want to make a new matter.js body in same page, so make all variables have to at the end like this, something like this, and then it would automatically make everything like here. You could see engine 2, render 2, it would make it like render 3 stuff like this, and then you would be able to create like another one in the same page like this. So yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. And yeah, hope you had fun.